this? I've never actually played anything in this style or recorded or etc. So, let's get this going. And let's... Capcom. Loading. Creating save system. System save data... saved. Thank you. Thank you, friend. Loading. Please do not turn off console. Checking for DLC. The game supports an autosave feature. Please do not turn the console off whilst this icon is displayed on the top of the screen. I will not. Ace Attorney Chronicles. Press any button. I pressed the any button. Select adventure. Okay, really quickly. Audio. All of that's on. All that's on. Okay. Let's select our adventure. Okay. New game.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some
Give me
were
1
swept
second.
away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
How's that? I upped it. Test, is that better? Give me one more second. Okay. I upped it some more, so give me a second. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna let this go again. Better? There, Brittle? Oh yeah? Okay, perfect. Is the highest court in Japan waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, until a judge has given the verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Oh my god, he threatened that man with a sword. He's like, yo, I'll cut your tongue out of your head, bitch. Tisk. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. Hey, that's not very nice. Yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right? Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. I'll continue to apologize. I'm just very good at it. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yumei University professor murdered in cold blood by student. God damn it. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean, I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in the second year at Yumei University. But he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old, here in Japan anyway. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma, truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and success in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you. I'm proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. Ooh, interesting. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Hell yeah, let's go. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow, then, partner. Oh, are we business partners? That'd be interesting. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Or are we, we're also a lawyer, maybe. Asogi, may I have a word? Oh, is that the Maya of this... Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. Seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? Who is this man, and why does he have such a great mustache? Why do you have Magnum PI vibes to me? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. Hey there, Scotticus. Ryunosuke. This is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. He's like, don't mind me, I was just looking through your file. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yumei University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name for Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked. Oh God! Never granted again, and never granted again. What is that look? Look at that stern, angry look on his face. God damn. What? Ah, as I suspected. We're unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? Oh geez. But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has chosen from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Excuse me? They're gonna try to railroad my trial? That's not good. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But, then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right? So, as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. And you must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin! Proceed to the courtroom at once! I mean, the only other thing that I would say I do before is before a marriage. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. Ooh. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. Ooh, this is getting good. I'm RA. But yeah, how's Scoticus doing? How is 22nd of November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. So this is a courtroom? The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. How much like the look of the people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty dang good. I'm doing pretty dang good. Powers that have, have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Oh my god! The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh my god. Even this guy's predecessors have a bald head. The prosecution's ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there's one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to the trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for the final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question Professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? I mean, we're gonna say I do. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate.
Yes!
Oh man! I'm raising my hand. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst to look on his eyes? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything just now before the trial. He did what? He said your dreams of studying abroad will be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Uh-oh. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Don't mind me, I'm just staring wide-eyed at this. Him? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. That look on his face. Oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna love this game. I can already tell. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature in Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? It's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, I can't be questioning more than I am. So let's start with the very simplest of questions. Yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. Oh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryusuke. Let me guess. Uh-oh. Your mind's gone blank? I'm not stupid, I swear. I swear. There, Kazuma. I'm not dumb. But yes, it did go blank. That all-knowing... Look at that shit-eating grin on his face. He's got that little smirk on his face. He's like... You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of R. If you ever find yourself forgetting something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press R for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. This is a list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching the people instead with R. Okay. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. Obviously, it is John H. Wilson, the victim of the case. He was visiting professor of medicine at Yumei University from the British Empire. John H. Wilson. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Hell yeah. Now you better not keep his excellent waiting no longer. Go on. John H. Wilson. Try it now. Okay.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was visiting professor from England invited to Yumei University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Ooh. It's got a long name, it sounds really official. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yumei University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. Oh! And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has the unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better get going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. Seeing English, then partner? Okay. And there he goes. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. Uh-oh. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. Oh, he got himself in trouble by saying hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. Escape. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find a piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and then select present. There we go.
Yes.
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's a post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes. That's right, the post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects body and draws conclusions that way. That's not good. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be testifying this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly discern, scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the court. Photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail's incredible. Very well, I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Ugh, this is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. Professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course! When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Osoge must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, Rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. That's not going to happen. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Yeah, his headband's just floating in the wind. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called Le Carnaval. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood, Hosonaga-san. Will you kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident? At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring. I love this game already. It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have a few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There's hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I heard out to the dining room to see what happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on. Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized. Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm at one point, waiter, standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today? Oh God, he's bleeding from the mouth. Holy shit, dude, you might want to get this checked out. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? And now he's not bleeding. No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something a waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Uh-oh. Do we have... I don't have any evidence. I don't have any evidence that she's there, though. I don't have any evidence she's there. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I never have to get into I would never have got into Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know? If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll secretly regret when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. It's just, I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of the events is hazy? Uh-oh. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. And now he's bleeding again. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. Sketch of establishment's layout, drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well, is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? It's been completely calm and collected until now. So, something certainly seems to have shaken him. Oh my god! He's going to cough up a lung! And that lung's gonna be coming out bloody mess! Waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. So, the court has now heard a process of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty at one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? No, you don't do that! Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. Who said it? Professor Mikotaba said it, and as the judge in prosecution, I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw the trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? That glare, man! The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive the evidence really is. Uh-oh. Indeed. Prosecutor Oki, please continue with the proceedings.
Tisk. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless.
You know,
Many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever.
Oh God. Don't silence me, friend.
The prosecution calls its next witnesses.
Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once.
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court.
Yes, sir. The great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant, Aisa Nosa, reporting for duty, sir.
Myself, I find employs a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Kiryo Korikuta, at your service.
Antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both these gentlemen were present at the restaurant in the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned.
Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios in which I make my business.
I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer and it sounds like he's regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with a rich clientele. Ooh. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. He declared war on that body and shot him. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that it actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now the court will hear from your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir. Standing by to report, sir.
Unsavory memories of the most acerbic afternoon.
I like these already. I already like these witnesses in this game. I really like them. what the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man.
Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio.
I already have a piece of evidence that says that it's not so. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim.
Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live when an English gentleman may be assailed in the bright light of day.
But this is ridiculous. I wouldn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat down drinking some coffee. Then when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, well, if that's the truth, there's obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine? Do it now.
As we have heard, Your Excellency, there's no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty.
It is time to bring the despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of the trial.
Yes!
What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands the right to a cross-examination.
Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic.
Huh? How did he know?
The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. That look on his face! Kazuma's so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witness's statements. How? He didn't fire the gun, which means that what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. The key to doing that is the evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then. It's all or nothing. Cross-examination. Okay, we'll save right here. Yep, perfect. Okay, what the witnesses saw. Okay, I want to...
Yes!
Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Alright then. This beefsteak you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Chinchin! Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on cast iron grill and served piping hot. Oh, if food could receive medals of honor, beefsteak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. It'd be decorated with military decorations. So next question. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal, tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it. Yes, sir, I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Oops, sorry. I'll do my best. So next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying noise? Negative! Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative! It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. Oh, okay. That's the history.
Yes!
I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, shit. Holy fuck. That caught me off guard right there. A Koban, boy. A Koban? You mean old Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day with said items secreted in my bosom pocket, in the hope of an affluent cognoscent appraised of its indisputable value being present. So you were hoping to sell your Koban coin to Sergeant Nosa, who you met at the restaurant. Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious Koban. Isn't that so? Well... You little upstart cadet! You want to add disrespect as a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Sir, calm down! Oh God! Blatant insubordination! No, I didn't say anything! Although penniless might just be the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. The gentleman beside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. I see. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes.
Yes!
So you're saying that you actually saw me at that time? Affirmative! I saw you! laughing, cackling like a madman as you train the barrel of your gun on the English civilian. But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't, in fact, see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. Arg! And double arg! My sixth sense! Sorry? My sixth sense of danger! I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind! Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, Cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I'd have got where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well, it would seem this soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. It's not good. Black uniform and from the back. Okay.
Yes!
This is where I'm gonna present evidence. That was arg. I've had just enough of your sauce, Cadet. Who else do you see around here in that black uniform, huh? Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but it was you little weasel. You loaded a firearm on that man. He just called me a weasel. That's not nice. I'm a different animal than a weasel. From behind his back. And you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me. Well, what is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. Something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you gathered in the court record. If you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court, thrust it in the witness's face, and make him choke on it. And that is what we're gonna do. We know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is how? Yep. Go through each witness statement and the details about each piece of evidence and compare all the facts. So, yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's this photo right here. Because if there's a burn mark, typically that's the butt of the gun going against the chest, so that'd be from the front and not from the back. Inconsistency. Present your evidence with X and rip the witness apart. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you dealt too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart and receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record and find an inconsistency with a witness's statement. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness's statements over and over again as many times as you'd like. So keep your head and be measuring your attack. Good luck, partner.
Yes!
There we go. What? What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense? What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just don't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. It's so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. Couldn't be any more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Ayesa Nosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes. Military-grade eyes? Holy fuck!
Yes!
But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. What is happening? I love this game. Certainly, there's a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. The witness, Sergeant Ayesa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd! I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. The look on his face! So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed! The Hoei era Koban, my prized coin! On each occasion when I visit the restaurant, it's my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest to my shop, Rasote, in the hope of meeting a rich diner who might buy it from you. On a day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I pre-offered my Hoei treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished? Hunting around under the table, I was in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prized coin for himself. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court had heard was inconclusive, no matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British. Oh, damn! It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Aoshi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witness have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of me, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. We will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Wayne signaled to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name Ido. It would seem the straps are a sign of a sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido. T-Shun. Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Oh my god. Was an precise moment the firearm was discharged. It's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. Excuse me? That guy looks like Stalin with a pointing mustache.
Yes!
Wait, that's nonsense. And hey there, Bjarn, how's Bjarn doing? The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all.
Please, enough of these outbursts already.
But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime council?
Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can be plainly seen, there's only one place set.
Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. Court will add the new photographic evidence to the record. Good, but leg hurts. Have 3 wounds on the left leg when showering. Just drag my towel over the wounds that hurt so much. Oh God, that sucks there, Bjorn. Hopefully they heal up soon. Photographic print of crime scene has been entered into the court record. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that no one else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. That's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. Witness testimonies we just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsushi Auchi, will have contributed to the amity of these 2 great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? Judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Tisk. Rules can be so unbending at times. Ugh. The true culprit. Okay, we're gonna save right here. As always, 2 save files for everything. Okay, I want to look at the court record really fast. Why wouldn't he be sitting... He's not sitting facing the stake. That doesn't make sense. And if he's sitting here... Yeah, he's not looking at the table. Even if what I saw wasn't a precise moment of firearm, it's almost the same thing.
Yes!
Excuse me! It's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so.
Consider this, defendant.
Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it's an undeniable fact that I did blink. So therefore, there you have it. Of what? T-shirt! The sound of a firearm rang in my ears. The very next moment, I saw you waving a gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in the most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Karakuta-san?
Yes!
Yes, it may be true that I was holding a gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, there's only one way you could explain it away. I just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, bang! A gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Furthermore, a visual okay.
Yes!
Most have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Only there's more people dining there at the time. Someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. By a time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course, the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of time to eat. Wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Had a clinic. Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. Very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. Explanation couldn't be more simple. Prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Huh? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request it be entered into court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Of course! Ask for it to be submitted.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up for us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request.
Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend.
Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Okay. All we need right now is new clues. Okay, really fast. I want to look at this. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you.
You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already. It's the day after the festival already for you.
Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kurakuta-san. Indeed, alone he was.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in. So the testimonies of the old man and soldier and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there's only a single beef steak on the victim's table. A meal for one! Wait a minute. He was screaming about beef steak. That's the officer's plate. No. Antique dealer, the sergeant and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, cadet? What did you say, cadet? Clearly remember. Give me 1 second. There we go. There was a woman sitting across the table from Professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you that have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said the victim was alone. That's right!
Precisely. In other words,
you're the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But
if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a plain waste of the court's time.
There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. Can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use the right stick. Oh, okay. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using left stick, can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Okay. Says how to clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? Well, when I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember. Wow, he's lucky. Holy shit! Even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Brr, I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have only had one cold in their whole life. True! Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Okay, let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. And there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It seems so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. There's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. With this new information, meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Alright, let's save really quick. We are rolling! Okay. Like, the situation has really changed though. We've come to light, and that's what we need. Oh, I think the situation has changed a great deal. We've come a long way. How so? Because we have just what we need. It's simply a case of using it to our advantage now. What do you mean by, there's a discrepancy somewhere? The crucial point is, the victim had been prohibited from consuming anything but water when he was shot. In fact, he has not yet been brought to the court's attention. That's right, think about Dr. Wilson's circumstances at the time of the incident. Puts this particular statement in a totally different light. That's the only sure way to win.
Yes!
Okay. It's not this. It's not that. Okay. Damn it!
Yes!
Okay. Okay. I know it's... Okay, we need to present... We need to present the new evidence we got.
Yes!
Well, I think, what are you withering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could. But first and foremost here, I'm the accused, Rinsuke. Everyone stumbles on her words occasionally. Under circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it is you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright? And thanks for the advice. Korakuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement. Something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But, let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's, remember, Rinsuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there's no one else besides this pale-faced pupil. Uh-oh. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst half petrified me, boy! Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hata Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Uh-oh. Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if If I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating... Just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't. Korakuta-san. What? Boy, what? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No! Additionally, there's more? You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Grrr. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Grrr. Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
What? What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Rinosuke? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat? Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. Assume you're ready, counsel. Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Alright, the answer to the question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... Time to save! It's not the two witnesses. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There is no such person!
Yes!
There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet, we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial relentlessly. Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, it
You will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh. What? What did you just say? Korakuda-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now hold on, lad. I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman? Grr. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true? You pair?
Just one? Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order! Counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth.
Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this.
Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut?
Well,
That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't! This can't be happening! I like how the kid is pulling on his mustache, by the way. Ryusuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ouchie had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. Oh, I think I know where this is going. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga? Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.